Hello and welcome to the DarkMatch, ladies and gentlemen. For TNA week of... I forget. I'm Mr. War Machine.
I'm the High Priest of Zardoz, Mega Fighter Free.
I am Magpie, and insert funny pun here.
And I am the Fat One, Subrick, and I have the wonderful pleasure of letting you know what is the Iron Sheik tweeting this week. Funnier day! My intelligent Jewish friend shut up and don't make me happy, and watch the Magan boys make this for Jewish people!
Oh, Iron Sheik, you and your hate, you and your anti-Semitism.
I
I think Sheik is the only anti-Semite that people don't hate.
Yeah,
Well, I
it's
think
a
it's
fair
because
assessment.
at this point, we're so convinced. We understand how batshit crazy he is, and none of us want to upset him. Because
Yeah, that is true.
Because if we do, Sheik's coming for us.
You will put us in the camel clutch.
Yeah. And I don't even want to describe what happens afterwards.
Yes, he will make us... I will make you humble! I will fuck your ass and make you humble!
What part of not wanting to describe what happens after he puts you in the camel clutch did you not understand?
Oh, he understood it. He just wanted to give you graphic details.
Exactly.
Damn it, stuff.
Now, here's what it would sound like.
Okay,
Oh God.
Okay,
Oh, God. All right.
move on to something that is possibly less torturous than that, but not likely. TNA Impact.
Actually, Impact
And
was...
This show is fucking all over the place this week.
I'm
Like,
going to be
scary
honest.
thing?
I watched this after I got home from school today, and I didn't have a particularly good day at school. So I think that soured my mood towards having to watch TNA Impact.
Yeah, I didn't. When I watched it last night, I didn't even fully watch it because I realized that I would have to be doing this show, and I didn't want to fully put myself into it. So I had Impact on the background while I watched better wrestling from the late '90s.
No joke. I watched this show literally 45 minutes ago. And I'm still pissed off. Let's get started.
Yeah.
All right.
This show this is
So
that will supposedly revolve the controversial ending bullshit to Final Resolution, wherein Bobby Roode decided to run out away from the end of an Iron Man match, I guess. Because he's a bad guy now. But
okay, I would like to state this. I'm not going to get too many chances to talk this episode, so I just want to kind of get this out of the way now. You know what happens when there's a screwy ending to a match on a WWE show? They wait until the next pay-per-view to solve it. They don't have 5 minutes overtime as their first match on the free TV show. I don't know how I'm going to beat this into Impact Management's head, but stop doing that. That's not good. You stop it now.
And not only that, they could have rectified it by just having, you know what, fuck 5 minutes. Let's have a full 15-minute match, opening match, world title, Robert Roode, he kicks ass, AJ Styles is God. Put him in a match. Let's have an Impact that opens up really, really awesome. And then we can get to the shitty promos. But no, give him 5 minutes and a fuck you, and let's devalue the title even more.
Silly War Machine.
If you're going to have the world title on your show, don't have it as the opening match. That is main event stuff. I don't know, Scott Steiner versus Abyss, Scott Steiner and Abyss on as the opening.
No. That would be the shittiest, most anticlimactic fucking opener in wrestling history.
Really?
Okay.
Do you not remember the day promo?
Okay. I would like to state for the record, you just used the word anticlimactic wrong.
No, it would be anticlimactic because it would be... Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, because...
TNA does that to you, people.
Let's move on. So, Roode comes out, and he's making fun of AJ. And he's like, "Oh, I got the belt." And AJ's all like, I don't have the belt. and and so then the match starts. Styles punches Rude in the face. There's a springboard. There's a springboard somewhere involved, and then a couple drop kicks, punches, kicks, and yeah.
It's like it could. The exchanges were good, and they were good because you get AJ Styles and you get Robert Roode in a match together. They're not going to suck. They're going to put on the best presentation they can. But you give them only 5 minutes, especially on a world title match. They're only going to get like, okay, we're just going to do the basic leg lock, and then leg lock, and then you get him into the headlock, and then you bounce off the ropes for a couple times, then springboard. You only can do so much within a 5 minutes time limit. And then even though when you get
felt like it felt like sensory overload because they were trying to get out all the big spots in 5 minutes. And
the thing with this match was that, like, they did all the big spots too quickly, and it felt really rushed. And then at the end of the match, they did the exact same fucking thing from the pay-per-view where Bobby Roode just sort of tries to run away, and he does, and it's a draw. And then Sting comes out with his, like, Freebird jacket, I think it is, with all the little tassels on it. And then...
No, that's a jacket that's a jacket that you would see if you went to a Six-So back in the 80s and the dude drunk in the parking lot would be like, "Yeah, Six is the greatest band ever. Woo!"
Yeah, Macho Man NWO jacket. That's what it is.
the human palm.
No, I would say you'd be more likely to see that jacket at a Nelson concert.
Oh.
Well played.
But
that
yeah,
was how he was to me.
But yeah, Sting comes out and he's apparently the dude running he's like the authority figure now.
Steve Bordenitis, yes.
He's TNA's Johnny Ace, only actually good. But he comes out and then he starts the match again for another 5 minutes, and then Bobby Roode comes behind and chop blocks Styles. Then he does a single leg Boston Crab, and he like actually made it look like it hurt. Like he fucking wrenched back.
I love that move.
Then Styles tapped, and then Bobby Roode won, and the piped-in crowd noise booed.
Why
Yeah,
do we have
I
this
just
at the fucking pay-per-view. Sorry to interrupt you, War Machine.
Oh no, hey. But what were we trying to prove with this? I mean, look, if you so desperately wanted another match between these guys, just let's not give them 5 minutes and let's just give them 15 minutes in the main event. I don't even care if it's on free TV. I do kind of care. Let me rephrase that.
Well, they gave them 30 minutes on the pay-per-view.
Oh well. I mean, I don't know.
I agree. I would rather much have seen instead of 2 5-minute matches between Styles and Rhodes, I much rather would have seen a 15-minute match between AJ Styles versus Robert Roode for the main event for the title. I would have cared about that.
But this I don't care about. I just don't. And that's the problem.
Yeah, it's like they're doing with having Rhodes and Styles together, they're doing the right things. I want to see these guys compete for a belt, and yet I don't fucking care. Anyway, moving on to
it's so weird.
Yeah, moving on to the next Rumble, though.
They had some backstage promo where is it just me or is Bobby Roode trying to be like Dolph Ziggler?
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's the vibe I'm getting from his promos.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, are they incredibly boring, wooden, and flat? Because that's the vibe I get from Dolph Ziggler's promos. What's his face? The blonde dude.
Dolph Ziggler.
Don't you ever badmouth Ziggler.
But
I'll badmouth Ziggler all I want.
Badmouth Nikki of the Spirit Squad. God damn it.
That is Kerwin White's caddy. God damn it! You will never taunt him again.
Okay, so our next pile of randomness together is the wildcard tournament, or TNA Tournament A-7B39 version 4. Tournament.
Beta version. And this time, I don't even know the fucking name of this tournament. It's Scott Steiner and Abyss, who apparently are on the same team, but aren't at the same time. I don't fucking know. Versus
The basic
Hernandez.
idea.
Versus Hernandez and Robbie T.
Yeah,
Who's
the basic idea of this.
Rob Terry with a goatee.
This is basically they're randomly picking people from their roster to make a new tag team to face off against Matt Morgan and Crimson. This is kind of them doing some sort of weird developmental shit, where they're just like trying out who can do work well together.
Yep, Dusty isn't there in booking in TNA anymore, but his spirit of booking lives on.
But yeah,
So this match featuring a bunch of people I don't care about.
Yeah, totally.
I used to love Hernandez. I really did. I was passionate about him. Don't care.
Yeah, you used to like him, then he came back last year.
Well said, Subrick. Well said.
Yeah, the farther away he is from American wrestling, the more we like Hernandez.
Actually, he had a match with Homicide with the Kings of Wrestling. That's where he cared, and it was awesome. Every time he was on TNA, it's just.
Well, what do you expect? He's on the same team as Anarchia.
Good point. And this match is basically just big, roided out freaks versus big, tall guys. Everybody's big in the match. That's the theme. They're all
Yeah,
big.
I think Hernandez was the smallest of them.
And even then, he's still big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Dang, this match is like one of those. They had all the big guys together. Vince would totally have a hard-on for a match like this.
Yeah.
No, if this was done in a promotion where they actually knew how to book power wrestlers, like old WWF, then this would be a great match because, like, certain promoters and certain bookers, they know how to do the big power men match where there's lots of, clotheslines and lots of suplexes and lots of slams and all that. This was just boring. Like, nothing happened in this match at all.
Except for, something did happen. Abyss isn't sure whether or not he wants to team with Reich Steiner. Like Scott Steiner, but the Steiner with the roided out freak. I don't care.
the Steiner on steroids.
The Steiner that still has a career.
Yeah, both those answers were correct. And by the way, did you notice Earl Hebner was trying to do a really good job of pretending not to notice that Hernandez was choking Scott Steiner with the shirt?
Yeah, I noticed that. Like, he's like Mike Tenay's like he's doing this behind the referee's back. No, he isn't. He's looking right at him.
And not only that, Abyss, like in the middle of the match, just comes in without being tagged. He's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna hit people." And Earl Hebner was like, "No, stop. Get back to your corner. It's you have to tag."
He's like Willy Wonka. He's like, "Stop. No, don't do that.
Don't do it. No."
And
but yeah, what in the world is the deal with this? What's the story with this match? Where because I knew that Abyss was an immortal. I don't know if he still is.
Okay, Subrick. Here's the story. They have no idea what to use. They have no idea how to use Abyss, and they run out of every idea. So they just randomly put him in this. There.
They haven't used Mask him yet.
But if they unmasked him, that might actually be interesting. If they did it the right way, they won't. But if they had somebody that knew how to fucking do an angle like that, it would be interesting.
What's the fucking point? It's like half a mask. I know what he looks like. It isn't like Kane back in the day.
Yeah. Plus, we have seen his face on TNA before because there was a promo that he and Sting did back in 2006 where Sting was leading Borash through the boiler room or something, and he finds Abyss, and Abyss turns around and he's unmasked, but he has Sting makeup on.
And then he rapes him.
To be honest, Abyss has always looked kind of like a psychotic, roided out version of Teddy from Diamanda Hagen.
What a wonderful comparison. The way this match ends is that Abyss gets into the ring. He kills bitches dead. He he hits a black hole slam on, I want to say, Hernandez. I don't remember. And then he doesn't go for the pin, though. He gets up and then he looks at Scott Steiner, who's like, "What are you doing? Fucking pin him!" And then he goes over and he tags Steiner, and he lets Steiner score the pin, and then he gives him this sort of really weird smile that you really don't know what he was thinking. He had like this. It was like a mix between a shit-eating grin and a stupid smile.
So it's Abyss's everyday look.
Exactly. Yeah, it's Abyss.
Yeah. But yeah, that match was. I mean, it was a Rob Terry match, so obviously his parts in it sucked. But yeah, the less said about that.
Steiner won. Next thing.
Yeah, and then next up we have a really weirdly delivered Kurt Angle segment where like he's walking towards the gorilla position, and he sort of turns around like fucking Smokey the Bear, and he's like, "I'm sick of Sting." Then he starts walking in. Then 5 seconds later, he's like, "I'm gonna do something about it," and then he starts walking away again.
I support that promo. It was short.
It was really bizarrely delivered, though. It was like Kurt forgot what he was going to say and then remembered it 5 seconds later.
He said what he needed to say.
It just happened.
Yeah, that's the best thing to say about all these promos. They just happened. And then, so we come back from a commercial. Then Kurt Angle's in the ring, and he calls Sting out, and then he says, for the first time in his life, Sting is going to shut up and listen. To which the piped noise in the crowd goes, boo.
Wait, first time in his life.
I love how the booing is phrased in the form of a question. Boo?
Yeah. Like the 4 people that are actually in the crowd giving a shit, they're like, boo, maybe.
Boo earns?
I guess.
Oh, wait a minute. First time in my life I'm going to listen? Wasn't the entire year when he didn't say anything, he was listening?
Yes. But then he says something that I don't understand. He says, I was thrown into a title bout with James Storm with 90 minutes to prepare. If I remember correctly, James Storm only wrestled Bobby Roode when he was champion.
I think he's talking about the post Bound for Glory Impact, which would be the case.
Oh, okay. Then he says, I only have 90 minutes to prepare. Then I lost because he had a loaded boot. Then we had the rematch, and he also had a loaded boot there. And then he says that he demands a rematch with James Storm. What? And then Sting says he beats him fair and square, and he's going to move on to Bobby Roode, and blah blah blah, and who cares? Woohoo!
What was Storm's boot loaded with?
The same thing that Madison Rain's bag, was it? No, her glove. That's what it was. Same thing her glove was loaded with. Nothing.
Semen?
Well, that you're thinking about her. No, I won't go there.
Whoa. The glove is enough.
I actually show restraint for once.
Thankfully.
For once.
For God. With BBs.
What the fuck, BBs? How would that work? She just like take a whole fucking bag of them and put them in there? Wouldn't they fall out?
Wouldn't they hurt like a bitch to walk in?
I like to smell that glove of Madison Rain's.
Yeah.
You're like you got that reference.
You're like the dude in the fucking Titanic movie.
No.
Yes, we get it. You're creepy Iron Magpie.
Spinal Tap. You're a metalhead, for fuck's sakes.
Oh. Yeah, I haven't seen that
movie.
Okay,
let's move on.
So yeah, so Sting says that He says Angle says that Sting wants to be a cowboy like James Storm because he had that stupid fucking jacket on, made him look like he was from 1987.
Like
No.
a human pom pom, I say.
Yes. So Angle's gonna go to Storm's hometown. He's gonna kick everyone's ass there, and then maybe after he does that, Storm will grant him his rematch. And this segment just happened as well.
Oh God, you know what that means? The next backstage or the segments from the earlier tonight or later this week or whatever, they're gonna show footage from James Storm's hometown, and it's gonna be Kurt Angle beating up people randomly.
Yeah. And then next match
Because
we have.
nobody in Tennessee owns a gun.
Yeah.
Oh no, crazy bald man, get the Winchester.
No, he just Kurt Angle just happens to go to the one little section of Tennessee that no one owns a gun in.
Impossible. There is no such place.
Yeah. But yeah, next match we have Tony Nese versus Zema Ion in a best of 3 series. Why are they having a best of 3 series again?
I don't know,
Once
but
again,
this
I
match pissed me
had
off.
to ask during when watching the show, who the fuck is this guy to Tony Nese? Because that's how very little we see of the X Division.
Yeah.
He's like the second guy I am completely blanking on, and the first guy was Zema Ion.
Apparently, people on the forums, they're saying that Tony Nese is like the best wrestler in the world, and I don't believe that for a second.
Oh no, he's a good wrestler. I was
Yeah,
watching.
I don't doubt that he's great because a lot of a guy like him, like I might have seen something of him on the Indies, I might have not, but I've heard very good things about him, at least from the people that aren't just relentlessly blowing him. But like calling someone the best wrestler in the world and they're not someone like Ric Flair or The Undertaker or someone like that, I'm just like, yeah, bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this match for the short time that this match got, it was good.
It didn't piss me off, and I really enjoy Zema Ion, and I hope he gets the best of 3 and has a match with Austin Aries because that would be the shit.
That would be nice. That would be a great thing to see.
Yeah, it would be nice to see like Austin Aries cut a promo and be like, you know what? Fuck that kid. I did the 450 way better than him before he even got in the wrestling business.
And then just to spice everything up, they bring in fucking Too Cold Scorpion. He's like, fuck you two. I was doing this when you were still little kids. But yeah, yes, or Juventud. No, when Juventud does it, he actually knocks people out with his fucking knee. Ask Paul London.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for the people that remember that SmackDown. But
wait,
yeah,
wasn't that Chavo that did that?
no, that was Billy Kidman and Chavo. There was a SmackDown where Juventud knocked out Paul London by doing a 450 because he completely fucked it up. But yeah, this match was pretty good for like the 4 minutes it got.
Uh-huh. Of course, towards the end where it's just like, wait, I can do it better. And then he tries to get another move
Actually,
onto him.
I just remembered something that we forgot to mention earlier because we were talking about 450 splashes. At the end of that first match with AJ Styles and Bobby Roode, like AJ Pele kicks Bobby Roode on the outside, and then he deliberately stalls for time so that way he doesn't have enough time to pin him. And Bobby Roode fell too closely to the ropes, and AJ Styles goes and he jumps over and he tries to do a 450. He completely fucking misses him. Like, he doesn't even hit him.
Okay, we remember that botch. Zema Ion wins, and I think within the next 2 weeks we're gonna see more of this. So I hope so, because if there's a match on TNA that I actually want to see and has good wrestling, I support it.
No, it's not going to be like the best of 5 between Motor City Machine Guns and Beer Money, where they actually give them a respectable time. They're just going to throw them in the first hour. And
I'll take what I can get.
No, better yet, just go watch their fucking matches on the indies. They're much better and much longer. Yes, and then here come the Jarretts. Yay!
Oh God.
No, actually, these segments have the best fucking payoff at the end of the night, but we'll get to that.
We will so get to that.
Yeah, like for those that don't remember, for the 4 people that watched the fucking pay-per-view on Sunday, they threw a stipulation in on Twitter and no one fucking knew about it actually until the fucking show, where if Jeff Jarrett lost to Jeff Hardy, one of the Jarretts would be fired. And so that's what they're building to with the Jarretts all night, is that like some dude in the backstage, he comes up to the Jarretts and he tells them that Sting wants to see them, and the Jarretts are talking about like what are they like trying to explain to each other why they should be the one to be fired, and Karen's like I have like the what the fuck did she say?
I don't know.
It's like I
Every time
remember what
Jarrett
Jeff Jarrett
talks, I always
said.
just like ignore it.
Like I remember what Jeff Jarrett said. He's like 2012 is going to be the year of Karen Jarrett. Ugh. And then I think Karen was like, "No, I have to go home and I have to watch the little kid. I have to watch, Kurt's kids, who I pretty much abandoned by going into wrestling." And yeah, that segment happened. Then we have Zima Ion, and he's talking about how he's the prettiest wrestler in the company.
He is not the prettiest wrestler in the company.
Who would that be?
Damn lie.
Who would that be then? Ric Flair?
Hey, Chris Sabin's got a little boyish charm.
Are we talking about actual pretty or man pretty?
Man pretty.
Oh, well, obviously we have to go with Hulk Hogan.
Exactly.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
it be Gorgeous George?
Shut your face.
Yeah, So speaking of Ric Flair, the next segment we have is Ric Flair telling Gunner to forget Garrett Bischoff because apparently what they did last week was they did another WWE ripoff, this time from 10 years ago. Because 10 years ago, Steve Austin pile-drived Kurt Angle on the concrete floor. So pile-driven, whatever.
He didn't pile-driven on the floor. That's not how grammar works. You're doing it wrong.
Semantics.
No, it's grammar.
You fucking grammar Nazi.
Nobody gives a crap.
So
Check
yeah,
your face.
so last week Gunner pile-drived whatever. Garrett Bischoff. Pile-drived, whatever. I don't care. Let's continue. He does a pile driver to Garrett Bischoff on the concrete, and then tonight they have Jesse Neal, and compared to Gunner, Jesse Neal doesn't exist. Get the job done, la-di-da. And then
So it's a battle of the heavily tattooed gentlemen.
yeah.
With
And
Jesse Neal's mohawk that can cut glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be. That's a deadly weapon. Is what that is.
So yeah, Jesse Neal versus Gunner, and this is Jesse Neal's last night with the company, so you know what's gonna happen.
He's gonna go to WWE.
No.
No.
He's gonna
He's
get
gonna go
buried.
to OVW is what's gonna happen, and we're never gonna see him again.
I'm not necessarily complaining. Let's move on.
So yeah, actually, there's one thing that happened in this match because Gunner DDTs Jesse Neal on the concrete, and he basically, murders him. And so at the very end of the segment, Mike Tenay says, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stay on top of this. And they never fucking mention it again.
Okay, I'm going to pull out my rant card for tonight because there is one thing I want to mention, which is the problem of Ric Flair and Eric Bischoff's status in the company. They're technically not contracted to TNA. Their contracts were rewritten by Sting, but they didn't sign those contracts. And yet, they've been interfering in matches. They are trespassing on the Impact Zone. They should be arrested.
Oh, you and your
fuck?
silly laws on the Impact Zone.
Well, don't forget, just a couple of months ago, Jacqueline Moore and ODB were interfering in fucking women's matches.
And who did that
Without
a month
contract.
before them? And who did that a couple of months before them when they were like, oh, we don't have contracts, but we're here.
I really don't.
But this isn't like some sort of special New World Order contract bullshit. They are not under any sort of contract with TNA. They're not even an Immortal anymore.
Oh my god. I left my stove on. Let's move on.
Fuck you.
Okay. As War Machine's house burns down in the background.
I'm melting.
But yeah, what all they do is that they show the replay once, and then right after the replay, Mike Tenay says, "And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stay on top of this throughout the broadcast," and they never fucking mention it again.
Bye, Jesse Neal.
Not once through the whole show do they ever give us any kind of update on Jesse Neal. Never once do they say his fucking name again. At least when WWE canned John Morrison, they had the decency to keep mentioning him about it.
Well, that obviously means Jesse Neal died on the way to the hospital.
Welcome back to the Jesse Neal tribute show. We'll highlight the careers and accolades of Jesse Neal.
Yes, we'll highlight the greatest moments of Jesse Neal, such as getting gored by Rhino, and
that one time he was in a tag team with the guy who hangs out with the Hardys. That's not a junkie.
Yeah.
Well, as far as we know.
Yeah. Well, you have to kind of be fucked up on something to dress like that. Also, don't forget the time where he and his girlfriend went on Twitter and were acting all happy that they had fucking food stamps.
And then there was the time they lost in a dark match for Bound for Glory, and TNA mentioned that.
So backstage, Jeff Hardy is buttering up Sting
Wait, you completely missed a segment. We completely missed Karen Jarrett trying to talk to fuking Sting.
Yeah,
I don't care.
yourself out to Sting.
Let's
right.
Move on. Move on.
No, it's pretty much It's Karen Jarrett whores herself out to Sting. Moving on.
Yeah. And she's like, God broke the mold when he created Karen Jarrett, and Sting's playing into it. Sting's fucking playing into it. I'll admit, Sting as this authority figure kind of guy is actually fucking entertaining. Like, they're using Sting in the right way here. So at the very end, Karen, at the very end, after Karen Jarrett leaves, Sting looks at her leaving, and then the moment she closes the door, he mugs for the camera, and he just puts on this fucking smug fucking, what kind of face is it? He had this look of disgust on his face, and he's like, ugh, poor Jeff.
Ew.
Oh, that.
By the way, does anyone have the feeling if it was another woman in the company, like say one of the knockouts who was begging for a job, they would have to get booked to say, "Please, Sting, let me hit your job. I know I can persuade you in some other ways, and make some kind of innuendo towards getting a blowjob or something." But no, Karen Jarrett's too privileged to get that treatment.
So next we have Jeff Hardy backstage. Well, Jeff Hardy comes out and he says, "My neck hurts. My body's sore from Sunday, but I'm the number one
Creatures of the night.
Are you prepared for the feast?"
He didn't come out with his Shockmaster mask, which made me...
I if I may stop you guys for a second, I would like to call a moment of silence, as from this moment on, there will be no more Jeff versus Jeff segments on this show.
No.
May we all please count to 30 for a moment?
1, 2, skip a few 30. 1, 2, skip a few 30. Okay.
Dick. How dare you? Show some respect.
Yeah, now we have nothing. Now we've lost one other thing to make fun of.
Don't worry, we'll get 5 other things to make fun of
next.
soon.
So yeah, as this segment goes on, Jeff Hardy says that 2012 is going to be the most memorable year of his career and all that bullshit. Then Bubba Ray comes to the ring. I'm still not fucking calling him Bully Ray. Bubba comes to the ring. I immediately noticed this about him. He looks like an unemployed trucker.
Let's see. He's fat. Has a accent. I would give my opinions about this match. I think this segment. I'm sorry, between Bully Ray and Jeff Hardy. But Mike Beagle came into the room, so I decided to have fun, play with my dog, and throw the tennis ball around. And yeah, I don't remember what happened. By the time I
It was
turned back to the
more. It was
TV,
more
it was
entertaining
over.
than this. It was certainly more entertaining than this show.
Damn straight.
Oh,
So yeah, he
oh.
says some stupid bullshit happened where he says like, "I'm a freight train and you're standing on my tracks," and
Well,
some
I'm rubber
dumb
and you're
shit
glue.
like that.
I'm as strong as a bull moose.
So yeah, after that segment, Samoa Joe and Magnus are backstage, and they talk about something that I don't care about.
Mhm.
And so yeah, the next match we have is Robbie E and Douglas Williams versus Samoa Joe and Magnus. This match was also short. It was also rather boring. The interesting thing about this though is that Samoa Joe finally beat someone.
I don't know how it happened. I'm pretty sure some leprechauns had to die to make it happen, but it happened.
It was a freak accident, just like the Jacksonville Jaguars winning a game. It's just
Fuck
it's
you
not,
all. Joe wins something. Joe won.
It was a statistical impossibility. It'll never happen again.
I don't care if Joe wins a panda at the county zoo. Joe wins something.
And I would. Oh, go ahead.
One other thing we didn't mention, but why is the British Invasion broken up for no good reason at all in a tag tournament?
Because TNA hates us.
Yeah.
Because they never appeared on the main show at all. They were always relegated to Explosion.
Yeah, that is pretty true.
So yeah,
But
they have this match, and one thing I will say about Robbie E, because I saw him at an independent show last week, which is where we got the Tommy Dreamer footage from last week's TNA show.
All right. We'll give you the credit.
Yes.
Go Subrick.
Yay. But
so this next segment.
No. What I want to say about Robbie E, he's making the best of the shit that he's given. I'll give him that. He's doing his damnedest to make that character entertaining. And I will say that he's gotten a lot more bearable since he doesn't have fucking Cookie with him anymore. He's still, annoying, and he can be he's like a bad Zack Ryder ripoff a lot of the time. But when he gets really over the top with his dancing and shit, he's funny. I'll give him that. I'll give Rob Echoes that. Plus, Rob Echoes is a good worker by himself.
This next segment. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'll wrap it up fast. If they would have just booked him when he first debuted to just like go for the TV title instead of the X Division, I don't think we would hate him as much. I know I wouldn't.
Yeah.
There's nothing like an X Division wrestler that does not do any high flying at all, and isn't someone like fucking Douglas Williams, who's actually a really fucking good technical wrestler.
And, has an extraordinary thing about it, which, is extraordinary and no other wrestler can do.
So yeah, that match happened. Joe won by some miracle, possibly divine intervention.
This next segment, I would like to handle. I've written it out because it's strikingly familiar to something I once wrote. And I have the paper in front of me. You can't see it, but I can.
Is this Slash Vic?
You'll see.
Shut up and let him read.
Jeff Jarrett knocked on Sting's door. Sting, not knowing who it is, yells out, "It's open, come in." As Jeff walks in, he sits on the edge of Sting's table. Sting, without looking up from his computer, goes, "What can I do you for, Jeff?" Jeff looks back at him and goes, "Oh, you can do me for a lot, but that's not why I'm here." Sting lowers his glasses. Jeff thinks to himself how sexy Sting looks in those glasses. Jeff looks at Sting snapping out of his gaze, and says, "We've been friends for 25 years. I know you're not going to fire me when we go out there tonight, but it will be very publicly humiliating for my wife if you don't let her down easy. I'm asking you as a friend, please, please don't do this." Sting looks at him and slumps back in his chair. He says, "Are you asking me as a friend or a former lover?" Jeff looks away, the tears wallowing in his eyes. He says, "You know I can't go back." Sting goes, "I know. But at least one more time." And I continue reading, but it gets a little more graphic after that. So, yeah, let's move on.
I'll kill you later.
It does get sticky, doesn't it?
In comes the Velociraptor. Yeah, that was next.
Ironbite's here, really? Wow.
So yeah, after that wonderful bit of fucking slash, I guess, Eric Young comes in, and he has his hobo beard, and he's acting weird. Does he still have brain damage, or is he just?
Yeah, he's still Psycho Robin Williams.
I don't care. Eric Young is always awesome every time he says something.
So he and ODB are apparently teaming together. And
I support this.
And they slap and Eric Young ODB's like, "Yeah, you like these, don't you?" And she's like riding up her boobs, and Eric Young's just staring at them like, "Yeah, I do like them actually."
And she also slapped him on the ass.
Yeah. No, they lock up first. They lock up, and then ODB pushes him back into the wall, and then she's like, "Yeah, totally." And then she smacks him on the ass. He's like, "See you out there, dude."
I'm actually pretty sure she slapped him on the ass to greet herself. I think that
I support this. I don't know why, but I just support this. ODB's awesome. Eric Young's awesome. Okay. I can't be mad about this.
Now we have a really fucking dumb segment. Out comes Devon Dudley.
I'm gonna go I gotta go. What's that? Bathroom. I gotta go. I don't care. It's an excuse. I need to leave.
No, Magpie's gonna go fucking berserk at this. But yeah, Devon comes out and he actually looks really, really fit. Like when I saw him first from when they did the distance shot of him, I didn't even know that was Devon. He's lost a lot of weight, and his face isn't as round as it was. Like, he's muscly now. He's fucking buff. And so he calls out Pope, and Pope comes out with Devon's kids. And my very first thought of Pope, because I haven't seen Impact in a long time, Pope looks like a black Chris Jericho from 1999.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like he has that, the long hair, and he has that little rise up ponytail, whatever it's called. That ponytail that sort of juts out the top of his head. Yeah.
I guess.
So Pope comes out and he has Devon's kids, and they're all blinged out and stuff. He's like, "I am their father. I was there for them. I'm the one training them, not you, Pope." And then he says, "I'm going to bring them up my way." And then he starts to take them out of the ring. And then Pope's like, "No, you got to get with the times, Devon. Your boys, they're tired of living a boring lifestyle. And when they're with Pope, they learn how to live the high life. You'll never be as fly and pimpin' as the Pope." And now, here's the part that is just the fucking tasteless part. Devon starts to walk away, and then Pope gets on the mic and says, "Don't you walk away from me like your wife did to you."
Oh.
And
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
remember that thing you said about Raka-Khan?
Yeah. Yeah, and then Terrence and Terrell say, "Daddy, you're drunk. We worship Pope now." For whoever remembers that angle.
But yeah, Magpie, you remember what you said about
when you
Raka
said
Khan?
that, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but when you said that the Pope was taking the kids outside of the ring, or I thought you'd written some slash fiction of your own.
Oh no.
Oh, no. They're fucking 17 years old. No.
Oh, they are? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're underage. They're younger than I am.
They look way older than they actually are.
They're like 17 or 18.
Oh, okay. Well, since it's up in the air.
But anyway, this is really becoming the Raven versus Sandman angle with
Yes, only
Sandman's
black.
kid.
Yes, only black and boring.
But yeah, I fear that Magpie's prediction of Raka Khan being dragged into this will become true. There's going to be another crucifixion. But
There's going to be another crucifixion.
Yeah, and something we should mention. Did we get to the part where Pope starts beating up on Devon?
Not yet. Like, no,
right.
Devon, no, like,
Hey,
Pope's
spoiler alert.
Yes. Well, the thing is that Pope, he starts making comments about Devon's ex-wife, and he says, what did he say? He makes a comment about Devon, don't walk away from me like your wife did to you. And then he says, your kids should have been my seed, but me and their mom are working on that. And then Devon kicks the shit out of Pope. And then Devon's kids pull him off him, they hug, and then Pope low blows Devon, and then Devon's kids look at him and they just kind of let him slide off, and then they hug Pope and they smile and they do all that, and they kick the shit out of Pope kicks the shit out of Devon, and then Pope says, "Your boys are mine now," and then they leave.
And the thing is,
all your bases now belong to us.
He pulled this stuff out of his I don't know where he pulled that out, but it was like this white dust. Did Pope beat up Devon using cocaine?
Yeah, he got a handful of cocaine and he pimp slapped him. Well, don't forget, Pope be pimping.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm back. What did I miss?
We just did the Pope Devon promo.
We are now at Tracy Brooks versus Madison Rain.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, Tracy Brooks versus Madison Rain, aka, are we sure that Madison's not wrenching the wrong arm there?
Yeah.
AKA,
just to say it so that way No Leaf can have his obligatory go nuts moment so we can get out of the way. Tracy Boob's gigantic fake bouncing boobs.
Tracy Brooks has mastered the jiggle physics.
That's War Machine's berserk button, not mine.
That's War Machine's? Oh.
Kicking. Anyways.
The Wibble.
Why are you guys never speaking on me?
So this match happened and nothing happened at all. Again.
But
Madison Rain wins.
On Tracy's arm, which, given the whole partial paralysis in her shoulder, that pretty much worried me that she was hitting the wrong arm and like causing intense pain to Tracy. Like apparently Backlash confirmed during the show, during the watching, that it wasn't the injured arm that she was being worked over, but it was still like, for a while I was like, oh god, that's gotta hurt Tracy real bad.
Yeah.
So Madison Rain wins, and Tracy Brooks' dignity has pretty much just been stomped another couple of feet down to the ground.
What dignity?
And now we have, I will say this, the best segment of the night. Sting is backstage with both the Jarretts. The Jarretts are putting each other over and saying why they should be the ones sent home. Jeff is making case for why he should be sent home. Karen's making case for why she should be sent home. And they're saying the complete opposite of what they had said earlier, because Karen was trying to get Jeff fired, and Jeff was trying to get Karen fired. And Sting's looking at both of them with this shit-eating grin. And he tells...
Subrick, I hate to stop you. But I have another page. If you don't.
Oh, God damn it!
Another, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Slash Fiction with War Machine.
Hello.
God.
I am your host, James Thomas Rhodes. May we please
Brody.
continue? From where we left off, Jeff Jarrett and Sting had a passionate love scene with each other that ended with some things being so sticky that no amount of orange glow could get them off. But we are coming to a close in our story, and we must continue. Jeff Jarrett walks out with his wife, Karen Jarrett, to the ring. As they're walking, Jeff thinks to himself, why am I here with this woman? I am in love with Steve, but I just can't allow myself to be with him. Not after what he's done to me. I've been hurt too many times. They get into the ring, and he falsely kisses his wife, feeling that he's playing this woman for the fool, as she does not know about his intense relationship with Sting. Sting also walks out to the ring. In his fake confidence as usual, he walks around posing like a man with nothing to lose, when really, he's nothing but a shell of what he used to be, full of life and love and passion. He steps into the ring, and the Jarretts begin promoting each other to Sting, basically attempting to sacrifice themselves to the chopping block of unemployment. Sting puts on a false smile as usual. He shows them the footage of earlier, leaving out, of course, the sexual intercourse that him and Jeff Jarrett took part in. He admits aloud to many of the fans that you can't have Jeff without Karen, and Karen without Jeff. There's a pause in what he says, as he's considering, should I really fire the man that I truly love? Causing irrevocable damage to our relationship, which is already being thrown into the briar patch. As he goes to inform them that they're fired.
Oh dear God, move on!
Yeah, wrap it up, B.
Oh God.
I don't know. It was a good flow, man.
But yeah,
I
the way this segment ends, just so that way we can get along with it, is that Sting shows on a TV screen, both of them.
explained this part. They
Whatever.
fired.
Whatever. It was hard to understand under the soothing piano music.
Well, maybe you should listen a little more intently, good
I'm
sir.
in the middle of eating fucking chicken fried rice while I'm doing this.
Well, maybe you should put the rice down, fatty.
At least I don't write slash fiction about TNA Impact.
Well, I'm for financial math, and I have nothing else to do. Don't you judge me.
We are on the verge of both breaking. So
You lose.
good day, sir. So both the Jarretts are fired, and both
for
the Jarretts
5 minutes, I can hear angels.
Yes. This was actually a fucking hilarious segment, because at the end both of them are just going fucking crazy on each other.
I don't know what we're yelling about. Loud noises.
Like they're just screaming at each other. It was hilarious. And Sting's just looking at it with like this. Like, Sting as a manipulative bastard is awesome. I'll give them that. Sting as this authority figure who's just manipulates people is fun. It's better than watching him wrestle. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
So
I have to agree with you there.
We have the main event. We have Jeff Hardy versus Bubba Ray Dudley.
Yes,
You know,
former
11
WWE talents pitted together in the
11
main
years
event of
ago.
another promotion.
11 years ago, both of these guys were excellent. Now they're just bad. And one of them's an unemployed trucker, and one of them is an addict.
I don't think Bully Ray is an unemployed trucker. I think he's a cow. Like, he's referred to as having the biggest calves
Better
TNA.
yet, if he's a cow, then send him to that new TNA promotion in India. He would be the world champion forever.
And plus his battle cry is a moo.
He's a moo with a New York accent, like moo, moo.
Yo, moo.
Christopher Walken, everyone.
Hello. I have stumbled into War Machine's room. How are you people this evening? I am quite content at reading through this slash fiction. It is so entertaining. Maybe next week, show up and read some of it for this lovely crowd of
We can't get a
people.
wrestler on the
Actually, I
damn
would
show,
kinda
but
like
we
to
can't. But we can
hear
get
Christopher
Christopher
Walken
Walken.
read Slash Fic.
How fair is that?
This show is making everyone go nuts. It's TNA. What do you expect? So that was the worst. That was the worst Woody Woodpecker ever.
You know what? You know what the worst Woody Woodpecker ever is? Your face. Let's move on. Jeff Hardy wins.
Jeff Hardy wins, and then fucking Bobby Roode comes, and he's fucking beats the shit out of him, and they beat the shit out of everyone, and then they beat the shit out of him some more, and then the show ends, and we're done with this show. Thank
I
fucking
am the
Satan.
table.
No, I am the table.
Don't fucking remind me about that fucking album.
Everyone is the table.
Damn it! They made Death
Except-
Magnetic, and then they went to that.
Yes, a table that chops off its tits when it thinks of fucking Boris Karloff. So yeah,
Well,
this show was
okay.
fucking dumb.
Final thoughts on Impact. Let's go.
It sucked.
To be honest, this was actually a pretty good Impact, all things considered. Yeah, the storylines were stupid as crap, but the wrestling was actually pretty good. This was probably the best show they've had this year, though that's not saying much. I was thoroughly entertained by this show.
It's like
I was entertained. I was entertained, namely because as I was watching it, I kept thinking, man, it would be so awesome to just make up some slash fic on the spot in the middle of the show. But that was pretty much all the entertainment value I got of it.
So yeah, my thing with the show is that I'll say what Spoonie said when he did his original TNA vlog back in 2010. It was a good episode of Impact, and it was still really fucking bad. Like there were assorted segments through this show that I actually found entertaining, like the segment with the two Jarretts and Sting, just because, you know, Sting as this manipulative asshole is awesome. And that was really the only segment on this show that I really had any enjoyment of. Everything else was just there. And
I will always be entertained by Eric Young and his shenanigans, and ODB was there too, so that was pretty funny. It made me chuckle, and the Z-Mayim match was pretty cool. That's it. That's all I got.
It was like 4 minutes, though.
Okay, fine. Let me add another minute. The Knockouts holiday commercial, when I ignored Karen Jarrett, winner was awesome.
Oh,
There.
those commercials that gave me anti-boners.
Most of the women in that commercial had Hulkamania shirts on.
Again,
But not
anti-boner.
winter, so it was redeeming.
Ugh.
So if I paused the
okay.
commercial just right, I was like, okay, this sucks. Oh god, oh god. Oh wait, pause. Yay.
Well, yeah.
So, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to an end. This has been the Dark Match.
Hey,
for...
I got something. What gets more screen time than Jay Lethal?
Okay, I'll start first.
No.
Oh, we're
Okay.
just gonna let. Go ahead.
No, War Machine / fictions get more screen time than Jay Lethal.
Boom.
Okay, anti-boners get more screen time than Jay Lethal.
The backstage equipment at the Impact Zone get more screen time than Jay Lethal. That's all I got.
Jeff Jarrett and Sting crying in each other's arms gets more screen time than Jay Lethal. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I am to reuse this tired-ass intro once again. Thank you for listening to the Dark Match for the week of December 16th, 2011. TNA Wrestling. Good night, good luck, go the fuck home.